Hello, welcome to Card Talk. I'm Brabner89.
I'm Shaka. Today we'll look at an artifact uncommon called Saurarium. It has a bonus amber icon and says each creature with the lowest power cannot reap. I interpret that as if there's a tie, all the creatures with the lowest power cannot reap. How many times have you faced off against the Star Alliance deck that has a bunch of 3s on the board and they reap and do a bunch of mean effects to you, like raising the key cost and warding. Or you even have 2 Helmsman Spears online. A bunch of Logos creatures with 2 power that are sitting there reaping, just getting value. Saurarium turns that all off completely. And as an artifact, pretty difficult to get rid of. Saurian creatures have high power, so it's a nice synergy. A lot of times cards that work well in Saurian could also work well in Brobnar, as long as they relate to power. I think it could also work well with Untamed, where you're boosting the power of your creatures.
Yeah.
And imagine this with a Fangtooth Cavern. That's really a bunch of hate on these small creatures that have powerful effects. I own some decks that mostly are comprised of weak creatures, and they do a lot of nice things with their effects, and I can play some good action cards. Someone drops a Saurarium on, that will significantly affect my ability to generate amber.
Yeah, I mean, talk about unique board state control here. Saurarium says, that's fine. You can have all your little critters that have all these effects and stuff. They just won't trigger. That's fine. Like, you want to go into Star Alliance? Okay, but you won't be able to use your Helmsman Spears, or maybe you won't be able to use your Subject Kirby and get that efficiency. That's so great. I definitely want to see this, like you mentioned, in a deck with Untamed here. Boost up the power of all of your creatures. Maybe also together with Sanctum could be pretty strong. There's quite a few bulky Sanctum creatures as well.
Right. And I think this is going to be a skill testing card, and you may have to get rid of it in certain situations depending on the matchup. A way to play against this is you have a wide Saurian board, and I have a bunch of losers on my team, and they're not going to really do anything for me anymore. So why don't I just toss them into your creatures, and now you can't reap. Because if you have a bunch of 5s and my board's blank, now I'm getting control on you, and maybe I'm pivoting to using a more action-heavy strategy and like discarding a lot of creatures, kind of treating it like a Quixel game. So I think this would be a pretty fun card to play around with and see what kind of strategies work.
Yeah, another one of those game warping artifacts, not quite as substantial as Heart of the Forest or Quixel Stone, but definitely going to challenge your opponent to rethink how they're playing their game in a lot of situations. This has been our look at Saurarium. Check back tomorrow for a look at another card.